The massive underground hangar on the moon buzzed with activity. Admiral James Walker stood at the observation deck, his weathered hands clasped behind his back, as he watched thousands of workers scurrying around. The alien ship descended through Earth's atmosphere like a dark cloud, its surface rippling with strange patterns of light. Below, in Geneva's International Space Center, thousands of cameras recorded humanity's first official contact with an alien civilization. The ship was smaller than expected, about the size of a passenger aircraft, but its technology was clearly far beyond anything Earth had publicly revealed. Admiral Walker stood among the world leaders, his dress uniform pristine, but his mind was on the Prometheus, still under construction in its lunar cradle. Next to him, General Emma Ross gripped her tablet tightly, ready to send the evacuation signal if things went wrong. The alien vessel landed with perfect precision on the marked landing zone. For several long moments, nothing happened. Then, with a soft hiss, a door materialized in its seamless hull. 3 tall figures emerged. They walked on 2 legs and had 2 arms, but that's where their similarity to humans ended. Their skin was metallic, reflecting the morning sun like polished bronze, and their heads were elongated with multiple sets of eyes. They wore no spacesuits or protective gear. The leader of the World Council, Director John Pierce, stepped forward. On behalf of humanity and Earth, we welcome you to our world. The middle alien raised a hand. When it spoke, its words were translated by a device on its chest. We are the Dominion. We have come to deliver a message to your species. The alien's voice was flat, emotionless. It pulled out a small sphere that projected a hologram of the solar system. Your civilization has been monitored since you first split the atom. You have shown remarkable progress for a primitive species. The Dominion has decided to offer you membership in our empire. Murmurs spread through the crowd. Director Pierce maintained his diplomatic smile. We are honored by your offer, but Earth is an independent world. We would be happy to discuss peaceful relations and trade. You misunderstand. The alien interrupted. This is not an offer of alliance. The Dominion does not form alliances with primitive species. You will be integrated into our empire as a protectorate. Your resources and workforce will serve the greater good of the Dominion. Walker felt his jaw tighten. On his left, General Ross was quietly sending alerts through her tablet. And if we decline? Director Pierce asked, his smile gone. The alien's multiple eyes blinked in sequence. Decline. Your species appears to be suffering from delusions of adequacy. Your technology is centuries behind ours. Your weapons are primitive. Your ships can barely reach your own moon. Walker had to stop himself from laughing at that last part. The aliens had clearly missed the massive construction project on the far side of the moon. Their arrogance had made them sloppy. The alien continued. You have 30 of your Earth days to prepare for integration. After that, our fleet will arrive to begin the process. Resistance would be unfortunate. It gestured to the hologram, which now showed massive ships appearing at the edge of the solar system. Those ships, Walker spoke up for the first time. How many are in your fleet? The alien turned its multiple eyes toward him. 50 capital ships, each capable of reducing a continent to ash. Do you understand now, human? Your species has no choice. Walker nodded slowly. We understand perfectly. Thank you for the warning. I mean, notice. The aliens returned to their ship without further discussion. As it rose into the sky, Director Pierce turned to Walker. Please tell me we have a plan. Walker watched the alien ship disappear into the clouds. The Prometheus was scheduled for completion in 6 months. We'll do it in 30 days. Impossible, someone in the crowd said. Walker smiled grimly. Watch us. Humanity didn't climb to the top of the food chain on Earth by backing down from challenges. Send word to the lunar base. All personnel are to be woken up. Tell them to get ready for the greatest engineering sprint in human history. As the leaders rushed to their emergency stations, Walker looked up at the sky where the alien ship had vanished. Your arrogance will be your downfall, he muttered. You should have checked the far side of the moon. The lunar base had never seen such activity. The massive underground hangar blazed with light at all hours as construction crews worked in rotating shifts. Chief Engineer Marcus Reed hadn't slept more than 3 hours at a time since the alien ultimatum, but his eyes were bright with excitement as he studied the data streaming across his screens. "They handed us everything we needed," he told Admiral Walker, pointing to the sensor readings. "Those smug aliens practically parked their ship in our front yard. Our sensors got more data in 5 minutes than we've gathered in 10 years. Walker leaned over the engineer's shoulder, watching as complex diagrams of alien shield frequencies and power signatures filled the screen. "Can we use it?" Reed's tired face broke into a grin. "Already have. Look at this." He pulled up a simulation showing the Prometheus's main weapons array. Their shields operate on a rotating frequency. Very advanced stuff, or at least they think it is, but it's actually based on a pretty simple pattern. We've reconfigured our main gun to match their shield cycles. When we fire, our shots will slip right through their defenses like they're not even there. The Admiral allowed himself a small smile. How many other surprises have we learned from their visit? Their ships use a form of artificial gravity for propulsion. Same basic tech we got from a crashed scout ship. But their version is inefficient. They're brute forcing it, using massive amounts of power. Our gravity drive is more elegant. Smaller power signature, better maneuverability. A loud clang echoed through the hangar as another massive piece of hull plating was locked into place. The Prometheus was taking shape faster than anyone had thought possible. The ship's skeleton was complete, and its vital systems were being installed in parallel rather than sequence, a risky approach. But they had no choice. Walker's tablet beeped with an urgent message. The long-range sensors just picked up movement. The Dominion fleet is on the move. They're not waiting the full 30 days. Reed swore under his breath. How long? At their current speed, they'll reach Earth in 15 days. The engineer ran his hands through his messy hair. We need 20 at minimum. And that's with everyone working double shifts. Walker squared his shoulders. Then we'll have to work triple shifts. Get me a line to Earth. He waited for the connection, then addressed the World Council. Ladies and gentlemen, the enemy fleet is advancing ahead of schedule. I'm authorizing the use of Protocol Omega. There was a moment of silence before Director Pierce responded. Granted. God help us all. Protocol Omega was the last resort, using experimental nanites to link workers directly with their construction robots, multiplying their efficiency but putting enormous strain on their bodies. It was dangerous, untested on this scale, but they were out of options. All hands, Walker's voice boomed through the facility's speakers. This is the Admiral. The enemy has shown their hand. They never intended to give us the full 30 days. They expect us to be helpless, scrambling in panic. Let's prove them wrong. Protocol Omega is now in effect for all volunteers. Reed was already rolling up his sleeve, preparing for the nanite injection. Across the hangar, thousands of workers did the same. The small machines would keep them awake and focused, synchronizing their movements with the construction bots, pushing their bodies to the limit. One more thing, Walker continued. When you volunteered for this project, I promised you would be part of history. That day has come sooner than expected. Every person in this facility represents humanity's best. Together, we're not just building a ship, we're crafting humanity's response to those who would call us primitive. In 15 days, we will launch. In 15 days, we will show the galaxy exactly what humanity can do when backed into a corner. As the workers cheered, the Prometheus's hull gleamed under the work lights. Her weapons were untested, her systems were being installed in haste, but she carried the hopes and determination of an entire species. The real race against time had begun. The lunar surface trembled as the massive doors of Tycho crater began to open. 15 days of non-stop work had pushed humanity to its limits, but they had done it. The Prometheus was ready. Admiral Walker stood on the bridge, surrounded by crew members connecting themselves to their neural interface stations. The ship's AI, Atlas, came online with a soft blue glow that filled the command center. All systems are green. Chief Engineer Reed's voice came through the speakers. He was in the engine room, his hands still shaking from the nanite treatments that had kept him working through the past 2 weeks. The gravity drive is responding perfectly. Hull integrity at 100%. Atlas. Walker addressed the AI. Status report. A holographic display appeared in the center of the bridge, showing the ship's systems in real time. All primary and secondary systems are operational. Atlas responded in a calm, clear voice. Weapons are charged. Shields are ready. The crew neural link is functioning at optimal levels. Through the bridge's massive viewport, Walker could see the Earth hanging in space, beautiful and blue. Somewhere up there, 50 Dominion warships were approaching, expecting to find a primitive species ready for conquest. Message from Earth Command. The communications officer announced. The Dominion fleet has passed Mars orbit. They're transmitting their demands again. Put it on screen. Walker ordered. The alien commander's metallic face appeared on the main display. Your time is up, humans. We detect no orbital defenses, no significant space fleet. Have you prepared your world for integration into the Dominion? Walker straightened his uniform and stepped into view of the camera. This is Admiral James Walker of the Earth Defense Force. We have prepared something, yes, though it might not be what you were expecting. As if on cue, the ground beneath Tycho crater split open wider. The Prometheus rose from her lunar cradle like a sword being drawn from its sheath. 3 kilometers of advanced technology, sleek black hull gleaming in the starlight, emerged into space. The alien commander's multiple eyes widened. Impossible. Our scans showed no sign of. Of course they didn't, Walker replied. We built her inside a quantum-shielded crater. The same technology we're about to use to teach you some manners. The Prometheus's engines came to life, their soft blue glow reflecting off the lunar surface. Unlike the brute force approach of Dominion ships, her gravity drive was nearly silent, creating a gentle ripple in space-time that pushed the massive vessel forward with incredible efficiency. Atlas. Walker commanded, begin neural synchronization. The crew members at their stations closed their eyes as the ship's AI connected with their minds. Through the neural link, each person became one with their station. The weapons officer didn't just control the guns. He became them, feeling each turret like an extension of his own body. The navigation team merged with the gravity drive, sensing space itself as if it were an ocean they could swim through. Sir, the sensor officer called out, her eyes still closed as she processed data through her neural link. The Dominion fleet is changing formation. They're moving to surround us. Walker smiled. Let them try their standard tactics. The Prometheus might have been built in haste, but she represented the peak of human ingenuity combined with reverse-engineered alien tech. More importantly, she was crewed by people who had worked themselves to exhaustion to complete her, people who were now literally linked with her systems through the experimental neural interface. Take us out, Walker ordered. Set course for the enemy fleet. Let's show them what happens when you underestimate humanity. The Prometheus accelerated smoothly, her massive form moving with surprising grace. As they approached the enemy fleet, Walker felt the anticipation building among his neural-linked crew. They weren't just fighting for Earth. They were fighting to prove that humanity deserved its place among the stars. All hands, Walker announced, battle stations. Today we make history. The Dominion fleet spread out in a classic encirclement pattern, their 50 ships moving with mechanical precision. Each alien vessel was twice the size of the Prometheus, their hulls covered in weapon ports that glowed with deadly energy. They're preparing to fire, the sensor officer reported through the neural link. Through her enhanced connection with the ship's systems, she could feel the enemy's targeting locks like tiny pinpricks against her skin. The alien commander's face appeared on the main screen again. His metallic features showed what might have been amusement. "One ship. This is your response to our ultimatum. I must admit, its size is impressive for a primitive species, but surely you don't think." "Incoming fire," the sensor officer shouted. Streams of energy weapons lashed out from the Dominion ships, enough firepower to vaporize a small continent. The alien commander watched confidently, expecting to see the human vessel disappear in a flash of destruction. Instead, the space around the Prometheus shimmered. The quantum phase shield, based on technology humanity had secretly perfected over the last decade, caused the enemy weapons to pass harmlessly through the ship as if it wasn't even there. Impossible. The alien commander's multiple eyes blinked rapidly. No species at your level of development could possess phase shift technology. Admiral Walker allowed himself a small smile. "You might want to reconsider your definition of primitive. Atlas, show them what else we can do." Through the neural interface, the weapons officer merged his consciousness with the ship's defensive systems. The Prometheus's point defense grid came alive, thousands of small turrets emerging from her hull. Instead of traditional energy weapons, they fired streams of microscopic black holes, each one programmed to evaporate in a tiny burst of Hawking radiation. The result was spectacular. When the micro-black holes hit the Dominion ship's shields, they created small tears in spacetime, disrupting the enemy's defensive screens. "Their shield frequencies are destabilizing," Chief Engineer Reed reported from engineering. "The data we gathered from their diplomatic vessel is proving accurate. Their defensive systems can't adapt to weapons they've never encountered." The alien commander's face showed the first signs of worry. "This is unprecedented. Your species, you've hidden your true capabilities from us." "No," Walker replied calmly. "We simply don't show all our cards until we need to. Atlas, prepare the main gun for demonstration purposes." The front section of the Prometheus began to transform. Massive panels slid apart, revealing the ship's primary weapon, the gravitational focus cannon. Unlike the brute force approach of conventional weapons, this device manipulated the fabric of space-time itself. "Sir," Atlas reported, "the enemy fleet is moving to concentrate their fire. They believe their combined firepower can overwhelm our defenses." Walker nodded. "Let them try. All hands, brace for counterattack." The Dominion ships opened fire simultaneously. This time, the quantum phase shield flickered visibly as it dealt with the enormous energy assault. But it held. "Shields holding at 92%, Atlas announced. "The enemy's attack pattern is becoming predictable. Their tactical AI is struggling to adapt to our technology." Through the neural link, the entire bridge crew could feel the Prometheus's systems responding to their thoughts. The ship wasn't just a vessel. It was becoming an extension of human will, crewed by minds working in perfect synchronization with their AI partner. "Message from Earth Command," the communications officer reported. "They're tracking multiple Dominion reinforcement fleets heading toward our system." Walker's expression hardened. "Then it's time to show them why they should have taken us seriously from the start. Prepare main gun for full power demonstration. Target the enemy flagship." As the gravitational focus cannon powered up, the space around the Prometheus began to warp. They had tested the weapon in simulations, but this would be its first real combat firing. The entire crew held their breath, their neural links humming with shared anticipation. "Remember," Walker addressed his crew, "today we fight not just for Earth, but to prove that humanity will not bow to any empire that underestimates us." The gravitational focus cannon hummed with power, its energy making the space around the Prometheus ripple like water. Through their neural links, the crew could feel the massive weapon charging, drawing power from the ship's artificial sun core. "Target locked," the weapons officer announced, his mind fully merged with the targeting systems. Gravitational lens forming. The alien commander's voice crackled through the communication system. "Whatever weapon you're powering up, it cannot match our combined firepower. Stand down now, and we may still show mercy." Admiral Walker didn't bother responding. Instead, he gave a simple command: fire. The gravitational focus cannon activated. Unlike traditional weapons, there was no bright beam or explosive projectile. Instead, the space between the Prometheus and the Dominion flagship suddenly compressed. In less than a second, an artificial gravity well formed, as powerful as a small black hole but completely under human control. The effect was immediate and devastating. The Dominion flagship's shields crumpled under forces they were never designed to resist. The massive ship began to fold in on itself, its hull twisting like paper in an invisible fist. By the eternal stars, the alien commander's voice shook. "What have you done?" "Atlas," Walker commanded, "target their support ships. Show them the full capability of human engineering." The Prometheus's gravity weapon shifted its focus, creating multiple smaller gravity wells throughout the enemy fleet. Ships that tried to escape found themselves caught between opposing gravitational forces, their hulls stretching and breaking. "Sir," the sensor officer reported, 3 enemy vessels attempting to jump to faster than light speed. "Not today," Walker said. "Atlas, activate the space anchor." This was another innovation born from humanity's study of gravitational physics. The space anchor created a local distortion in space-time that made FTL travel impossible within its radius. The fleeing Dominion ships found their engines cycling uselessly, trapped in normal space. The battle became chaos for the Dominion fleet. Their rigid, A-driven tactics fell apart in the face of weapons they'd never encountered. The human crew, linked directly with their ship's systems through the neural interface, responded with instant precision to every enemy move. "Enemy fleet is at 60% strength," Atlas reported. "Their formation is breaking." The Dominion commander appeared on screen one last time. His metallic face showed what humans would interpret as fear. "What are you? How did you hide such technology from our scouts?" Walker stood from his command chair. "We are humanity. We took your crashed scout ship and learned from it. We saw your technology and improved it. While you watched our public space program and laughed at our primitive rockets, we were building something far beyond your understanding." "Multiple power spikes," the sensor officer called out. "They're charging all weapons for a final assault." The remaining Dominion ships gathered their strength for one last attack. Energy weapons, missile swarms, and exotic particle beams all fired simultaneously at the Prometheus. "Quantum phase shields at maximum," Atlas announced, calculating optimal response. The Prometheus's defenses held against the onslaught, though the strain was visible as the shield flickered with multiple colors. Through their neural links, the crew felt the impact of each hit like distant thunder. "Enough," Walker commanded. "Atlas, full power to the gravitational focus cannon. Target their entire battle group. Let's end this." The ship's artificial sun core poured its energy into the main weapon. This time, instead of creating localized gravity wells, it generated a massive gravitational wave. The waves spread out like ripples in a pond, but these ripples distorted the very fabric of space. Dominion ships caught in the wave were torn apart, their advanced hulls useless against fundamental forces of the universe turned into weapons. Those on the edge of the effect desperately fired their engines, finally breaking formation and retreating into space. As the wave dissipated, the battlefield fell silent. Where once 50 mighty warships had threatened Earth, now only scattered debris and a handful of fleeing vessels remained. "Status report," Walker ordered, though through the neural link, he already knew the answer. "Enemy fleet is defeated," Atlas confirmed. "Remaining ships are in full retreat. The battle is won." The Prometheus hung in space above Earth, battle-scared but victorious. Through the bridge's viewport, Admiral Walker watched the last traces of the Dominion fleet vanish into the darkness. Debris from destroyed alien ships glittered like artificial stars against the black of space. "Atlas," Walker addressed the ship's eye. "Broadcast on all frequencies, all languages, maximum range." The communication system hummed to life. Through their neural links, the crew could feel the power of the broadcast extending far beyond the solar system. Walker stood straight, his voice clear and strong as he delivered humanity's message to the galaxy. This is Admiral James Walker of the Earth Defense Force. To the retreating Dominion ships, take this message back to your empire. Earth is not a primitive world to be conquered. We are not your subjects. We are not your slaves. Today, you learned what happens when you underestimate humanity. He paused, letting the words sink in before continuing. To any other civilizations watching or listening, remember this day. Humanity will defend itself. We seek peace and friendship with other species, but we will meet any threat with equal force. This is who we are. This is what we can do. As the broadcast ended, cheers erupted from Earth below. Celebrations broke out across every continent as humans realized they had stood up to an alien empire and won. Chief Engineer Reed's voice came through the ship's comms. Admiral, you should see this. The data we collected during the battle. It's incredible. The quantum phase shield performed better than our simulations predicted. And the gravitational focus cannon. The readings suggest we've barely scratched the surface of what it can do. Sir, the sensor officer added, her eyes closed as she processed data through her neural link. Long-range scans are picking up interesting signals. The Dominion ships are broadcasting to other alien civilizations. They're warning them about us. Walker smiled. Good, let them spread the word. Humanity isn't to be trifled with. Atlas's holographic display showed the damage report. Hull integrity at 89%. All major systems functioning within acceptable parameters. The crew's neural links are stable and showing unprecedented levels of integration. This battle has proven that humans and AI can work together in perfect harmony. The weapons officer spoke up, still connected to his station. Sir, the gravitational focus cannon's test results are beyond our expectations. We've essentially created a new form of space warfare. No known shield technology can defend against controlled gravity waves. Walker nodded, looking at the Earth spinning peacefully below. And we'll need every advantage. The Dominion won't be the last empire to challenge us. But next time, we'll be ready from the start. Message from Earth Command, the communications officer announced. The World Council is requesting permission to release some of our technological achievements to the public. They think it's time humanity knew what we're truly capable of. Agreed, Walker said. No more hiding our capabilities. No more playing the primitive species. It's time for humanity to take its place among the stars. Through the neural link, the entire crew felt the rightness of this moment. The Prometheus wasn't just a weapon. It was proof that humanity could face any challenge, adapt to any threat, and emerge stronger. Atlas, Walker commanded, set course for Lunar Dock. The Prometheus needs repairs, and we need to start sharing what we've learned. It's time to begin building our fleet. As the massive ship turned gracefully toward the moon, Walker thought about the future. The Dominion had unknowingly done humanity a favor. They had forced Earth to reveal its true potential. Now there would be no going back. The age of hiding was over. The age of humanity had begun. One more thing, Walker addressed his crew. Everyone who served on this ship today has made history. The Prometheus isn't just Earth's first Stardestroyer. She's the first of many. And together, we've shown the galaxy that humanity's spirit is as vast as space itself. The Prometheus's engines glowed softly as she moved through space, her quantum phase shields shimming with subtle power. Behind her, Earth continued its eternal dance around the sun. But everything had changed. Humanity had faced its first real test among the stars, and passed with flying colors.